South Africans, please come forward and let's have a heart-to-heart talk. Before I continue, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you I always forget about saying this. Do well by hitting the subscribe button to be part of this family. Give this video a thumbs up, share to your friends and families, because I think these are admonitions that we should be having once in a while, especially when we see things like this. I know I've been making videos here about South Africa for maybe time to time. There are times that South Africans are angry with me because of what I say. They insult me. They say whatever they want to say. They'll say, "Oh, leave us alone." Especially when it had to do with the whites who are struggling for the land in South Africa. They'll be like, "Okay, leave us alone with our white brothers and sisters." And I keep telling you here that we are one people, and we will keep talking about ourselves. Okay, the continent of Africa. We want what is good for us all. I don't know what is a problem at this point, because what I saw today, I was really not happy, and I said, okay, why not we talk about it seriously? Because I think this needs to be studied. What do you think about the behavior of South Africans? I'm not going to generalize everybody, like putting everybody into one basket. Do not get it twisted. I think I've always been saying here that whoever comes to your country and go against the law, that person should be brought to book. Deal with the person accordingly. No one should be excused, especially when it has to do with the sovereignty of your country. The person come to commit crimes, you have to deal with the person as the law permits. I've been saying it here. Okay? Do not say, okay, because this person is African, we should let this person go. No, you deal with the person. But I was not happy with what I saw, and I want you to see it yourself before we talk further. Please stay with me. Let's talk to ourselves.
If you know yourself that you're not South African, please stand up. Please stand up. Please don't try and stand up right now. Stand up. Sister, are you South African? Are you South African? Because we are going to check everybody. Check them. Come favor. Please, if you're not South African, come with me. Come. Come with me. Come. Sister, go for your question. Come. Yeah. Let them go out. That's what I want you. But you guys are not South African. Go out. You can go to Unjani, block P there, or Hotel Hospital. Go. Hey, fast. Because Zimbabwe, you run past on good. Because Zimbabwe, you run past on good. Hurry. If you know yourself that you're not South African, all these nurses and doctors, they are here for South Africans. Get up South Africa. Please stand up. Don't try us.
I understand that South Africans have a problem with immigration, but chasing people out of the hospital is a new form of witchcraft. This is totally insane. Like, where did our humanity go? How can you walk in a hospital and chase someone out simply because they are not South Africans? It's not like they are there to be treated for free. They are actually going to be paying for their medical bills. Look at the other woman with the child. Maybe it's the child that is sick, but they don't even care. Just because they are not South Africans, they are being thrown out of the hospital. And what is their government doing about this? This is totally wrong. This is totally wrong. They are Africans. They are humans and deserve to be treated. There is something called medical tourism. Does it mean it doesn't apply in South Africa? This is totally unacceptable, guys. I don't know what you think about this video, but I would like to know your thoughts down there in the comment section.
Operation Dudula is playing with your life. Chasing away undocumented immigrants from our hospitals and clinics is going to backfire very badly. Operation Dudula is manufacturing South Africa's next pandemic, and nobody is stopping them. You don't have to be a genius to see where this is going. When you block people from getting treated for infectious diseases such as TB, HIV, or COVID, these diseases will spread in your community. These people are not going to leave the country. just because you prevented them from accessing our hospitals. They will stay, and a lot of them live right next door to you. So when they get sick from a new disease, guess who's going to catch it next? Our townships are going to become breeding grounds for diseases which are resistant to antibiotics. These are illnesses we won't be able to treat with regular medication. The township will be filled with sick, untreated people with contagious diseases. Operation Dudula is going to turn the most densely populated places in South Africa into biohazards. The next deadly disease is not going to come from China. It's going to come from Soweto, Deep Sloot, or Tembisa. Because some of you thought that kicking out sick people from our hospitals was a smart idea. This is not xenophobia anymore. What Operation Dudula is doing should be classified as biological terrorism. So when the next outbreak begins, don't act confused. Don't look for someone to scapegoat. Just look in the mirror and say, "Thank you, Dudula. You gave us this disease." You wanted to see undocumented immigrants suffer? Well, congratulations. Now we're all going to suffer. And I hope it was worth it.
Operation Dudula says it is protecting South Africans, that it's defending jobs, healthcare, and safety from being overwhelmed by foreign nationals. It's a message that resonates with many because the frustration is real. But what happens when frustration becomes policy without proper facts to back it up? So let's look at the numbers. South Africa has a population of about, give or take, 65 million people. Migrants, both documented and undocumented, form about 4 to 5% of the population. And yet they've become the center of blame for everything from unemployment to overloaded clinics to crime. Is that proportionate or is it convenient? Most migrants in South Africa are also not in high-paying jobs. In fact, more than 80% of them do informal work. Domestic work, street traders, construction laborers, shop assistants. And these jobs are often unregulated and severely underpaid. And yes, that raises very valid concerns because in a broken labor system, cheap, unprotected labor becomes attractive at the expense of local employment, wage growth, and local skills development. But that is not a migration issue. That's a labor enforcement issue. Another concern is safety. People ask, why is there an increase in informal settlements, unregistered businesses, people overstaying their visas, or being here undocumented? The answer is often delays and dysfunction in the legal system. Because right now, over 100,000 asylum applications are stuck in a backlog. And some have waited up to 5 years just for clarity. So while follow the legal route sounds reasonable, the legal route itself is broken and non-functioning. Then there's another flashpoint, healthcare. There's a deep belief that migrants are overwhelming clinics and hospitals, but surveys by medical NGOs show the opposite. Many migrants avoid clinics and hospitals out of fear of being either mistreated or deported. So again, the problem is not overuse, it's exclusion, poor communication, and underfunded systems. And here's something we don't talk about enough. Western migrants from Europe, North America, Australia, they are also here. They live in well-resourced suburbs, benefiting from favorable exchange rates, and have access to top-tier private healthcare. But public anger never focuses on this. So when we do debate migration, we must ask, are we being objective or selective? The truth is, South Africans have valid concerns about unemployment, about exploitation, about safety, but blaming migrants, especially low-income African migrants, don't solve our problems. It won't build jobs for us. It won't fix our housing. It won't reform home affairs and improve labor protections. Those are structural failings, and they also need structural solutions. So before we rally behind movements that promise protection, we need to ask, are they offering solutions or are they scapegoating? Because if the goal is a safer, fairer, functional South Africa, then we need policies based on facts, not fear.
That is it. And like I said, I was not okay when I saw this. And I tell you, I keep saying it here that I feel with our South African brothers and sisters. I might not, know exactly what they're going through and why they have to do this because I'm not in their shoe, right? So they are the one putting on the shoe. They know where it's painful. But humanity, people are sick and they came to the hospital to get treatment and you follow them to the hospital and you're chasing them out. What if, no, this is not the true image of an African. I tell you, I tell you, what if as you chase them out, Maybe one or two lost their life at the process because they were not given opportunity to be seen by a doctor. I know you have the right to chase out people from your country who are not South Africans. I know you have the right to complain to your government. Why are you accepting non-South Africans here and there? I know I keep saying it here that South Africans have the right to voice out. Why should the government be accepting people who are not South Africans, different people from different corner of the earth run into South Africa? Why? But this very one, this offed me. To tell you the truth, it offed me. Now, the question I had after she, said what you heard her, she gave a good analysis there because this is beyond normal at this point. Yes, it is. You get angry, you insult me, you unsubscribe, please. I need to tell you the truth. Okay. Now the question is, what if those nurses and doctors that he was, talking about, what if some of them are not South Africans? Is he going to chase them away because they are not South Africans? Okay, go away. Don't treat South Africans because you are not South Africans. Will you say, okay, because you're not a South African doctor or a nurse, I'm not going to allow you to treat me? If that would not be the case, or if that would not happen, then why chasing out those who are sick, who are in the hospital for medical attention? This is beyond it already. Now, the reason why I always have issues with Africans is that those who they need to divert this kind of energy to, they won't divert it to them. A good number of Palestinians were brought into South Africa. I made a video about that and I was like, the government of South Africa is not doing right to accept these people. And some of you South Africans came up here and said, they are your brothers and sisters. They are going through a lot in Palestine. So they are welcome into South Africa. Yes, if some South Africans said that, go back to that video and go through the comment section of that video. Some South Africans agreed, they are happy that they should come. They're going to give them a place. If Israel had refused them a place to stay, they will give them a place to stay. Why does it sound like you love accepting those who are non-Africans into your country than those who are Africans? Why does it seem like you have issues alone with Africans and you don't have anything with non-Africans? Why does it seem like the non-Africans in South Africa who are committing crime are not brought to book? You don't pay attention to them. But the moment criminals in South Africa becomes Africans, you have a problem with that. You have an issue with that. Why does it seem like that is what it is? Why does it seem like South Africa is gradually creating an enmity between themselves and fellow Africans? Why does it seem that way? Why? With all the love and affection that South Africans gave to white South Africans in South Africa, what did Donald Trump said recently? He claimed that there is genocide against white South Africans in South Africa. And I was wondering, I was asking myself, the same white South Africans that South Africans love so much, where is Donald getting his statistics from? Because last time I checked, South Africans prefer white people or those of Asian origin than their own melanated originated brothers and sisters that lived within them. And the excuse that they gave is that these people are coming in and destroying their nation. They are not contributing anything. And there are some South Africans who come out openly to tell you that they are dragging their jobs with them. So you feel like those of Asian origin and those of European origin are providing job opportunities for you. So you allow them in your country because they are giving you food to eat. And then your brothers and sisters who are coming in and claim that they are going for a greener pasture in South Africa are coming to drag this very job. So you prefer to kick out your own brothers and sisters and allow those because they are giving you jobs. Now, what kind of jobs? Is it the jobs of working in the farm where they unalive you and throw your bodies to the pigs to eat? Because we have situation like that. I've brought the information here. Where the white farmers unalive two South Africans, black South Africans, and threw their bodies to the pigs to eat. How did that judgment end? It's like he was acquitted. Was that man sentenced? Please, South Africans, speak to me. Was that man who unalived two black South Africans and threw their bodies to the pigs sentenced? They always have a way out of excusing themselves from crimes committed. They always have a way of justifying the evil they do to black South Africans. And my black South Africans always defend these people against their own melanated Zimbabweans and other nationalities and Africans who are living in South Africa. It's unfortunate, but this is a truth. Recently, we had issues of Israelis even moving into South Africa. Most of you will come out and deny something you don't even know. You don't know, you come out and deny it. People are roaming in your country 247, you deny it. Why does it seem to them that South Africa was the right place to push in these Palestinians? That's not a problem for you. And even those who are coming out to say, okay, we are raising our voice out, the government shouldn't have accepted these people. They are also your enemy. What do you truly even want, South Africans? Like, what do you really want? What is the problem? What do you want? Do you want to cut yourself even from being an African and then throw yourself into the midst of Europeans? I don't know. I don't get it. We are living at this point in the continent where there is tension of war already in the air. We don't know what the future holds because of this agitation here and there. Instead of African countries to work together and, have a reason why they should unite, we are giving ourselves reasons why we should divide. Does it mean there are no South Africans in other African countries? Does it mean there are no South Africans in Zimbabwe? Does it mean there are no South Africans in Nigeria? Does it mean there are no South Africans in Ghana? Let's be realistic here and drop all these unnecessary arguments here and there that we always bring up to defend ourselves from all this kind of act of us. Let's be realistic and think critically. There are other South Africans as well in other African countries. Are they being treated this way? If they're going to retaliate and say, okay, since you have gone to the point of kicking out sick people from the hospital, come on, come on. Since you've gone to this point of kicking out sick people from the hospital, what if all South Africans are not given access in other African countries, access to healthcare? What if that retaliation is considered? Are we going to be fighting each other like this as Africans in the continent of Africa? This is shameful to me. I'm telling you the truth. This is shameful and painful that this is happening in 2025 going to 2026. What South Africans do now, what they are learning to do now is to pursue people right into the hospital. I hope we won't have a site where a woman is giving birth to a child with the head out and then you push the person on your head to throw the person out of South Africa. I hope we'll never have that site. Because the way this thing is going is getting to that point where people might be left out to die because they are not South Africans and because they are Africans but not South Africans. Because I don't think this will be done to white people in South Africa. Have any South African movement gone to pursue out European descent from their country? Or those of Asian descent? Have any South African movement chased out those of Asian descent from their country? Or any other nationality? No, it's only those of African descent that South Africa always chase out of their country. You will not be happy with this. And I believe most of you didn't watch up until this point because you're angry already with that because you insulted me. But I'm going to tell you the truth. If this continues in South Africa, you're creating enmity between yourself and other African countries. There are ways things are done. Why not the government create a policy that will also favor you and then be just to other Africans? I keep saying it here. If you catch them committing crime, do what you need to do with them. These people in the hospital, what crime did they commit? What crime have they committed? There are ways that things are done for the sake of tomorrow. Yes, you don't want any of them in your country anymore. That's fine. Speak to your government. Let your government kick them out. But not doing things like this. And the question I want to ask is the government seeing what is going on? Is the government seeing what is happening that South Africans are going to hospitals and pushing out sick people out of the hospital because they are not South Africans? It's unfortunate, I tell you, Majesty.